Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Jamila Knopf from Turning Point Clinic and Coaching. Today, I would like to talk to you a little bit more about stress and the effects that stress has on us and some key indicators that we are stressed. So let's start. I would like to share a PowerPoint presentation I've prepared and share screen. Here we go. All right. I'm just going to try and make this big screen, and then it will be nicer and easier for you to see. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Whoops, sorry, jumped. Okay, Turning Point Clinic, also Turning Point Clinic and Coaching. I'm more the clinic side, and my husband is more the coaching side. But not just, we kind of mix a little bit. He also does a little bit of the clinic part at times, and I also do a bit of the coaching part. So today is all about understanding stress. And yeah, maybe you sometimes feel like this man in the picture here, that it feels like you're overheating and steam is coming out of your ears and you're about to explode. And that can be quite typical when we are stressed too much or when we're not handling it really well. Because don't get me wrong, not all stress is bad. Stress also has its place, and small amounts of it actually helps us to get a task done and can be really positive. And it's only a problem when it's a chronic thing and when it's ongoing. So let's see what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says that stress is defined as an organism's total response to an environmental condition or stimulus, and that is also called a stressor. And then it typically describes a negative condition that can have an impact on an organism's all over well-being, on mental, physical, and emotional well-being. However, as I already mentioned, stress is not just all bad. It's just when it's chronic and long and ongoing, and there's never a break, and we are in constant fight and flight, even we are not realizing that or knowing that, because we're having all these thoughts that are shooting out adrenaline. To understand that a little bit more, you could also go back to yesterday's video. I covered that a little bit in yesterday's video. So what are the key stresses? What stresses us? Typical ones: change, lack of control, of course, because it feels much safer when we are in control. But sometimes, yeah, being in control is great, but there has to be a fine balance. Not holding on to everything too tight and trying to over control everything. That's not good and healthy anyway. Relationships can be big stresses of workload, environment, and I mentioned all of these yesterday already: money, financial problems, and family. Yes, having a family is, of course, it can be stressful because there's a lot that needs to get done, and there's a lot to look after, and there's disagreements and all sorts of things. So, yeah, but it doesn't have to be all just bad. It can also be really positive. And when we learn things like mindfulness, we actually learn to look more at the positive and experience things in a totally different way. So what are the key stress indicators? If you're having one or two of these, then it's probably that stress is more a chronic thing for you, and it would be good to do something about that. And I will give you some little stress relief tips in a moment. But let's first talk about key stress indicators. So broken sleep, not getting enough sleep, sleeping less than 5 hours a night. It's typical. Also, people often, because it's how the body works and how the adrenal glands work, if you wake up between 3 and 4 or around that time, then it's probably that stress is getting the better of you, and it would be good to do something about that. Waking up around 3 or 4 is a typical sign. Feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, having mood swings, because stress does affect the whole body and also our hormones. And of course, that leads to mood, lack of concentration, not being able to concentrate on something for long. Forgetfulness. Has it happened to you, for example, that you lock the car or the front door of your house and then you walk away and then you're not quite sure if you locked it and you go back to check on something again and again? That can be a typical sign. Or that you forget things that you usually wouldn't forget. Head, neck, shoulder ache, that's often where we hold the tension, and that's where massages can really be giving you relief and helping you. Overeating and indigestion. When we are stressed, overeating is quite a big topic here. I could go on about that. Just to keep it simple, your body would like fuel and energy, and then we also grab for the wrong foods. Not wrong in such, but more things that give you a quick hit of energy, which is more sugary food, which then made your blood sugar plummet again. So as you can hear, I can go on about that. I think that needs to be one whole topic by itself, really. And indigestion, because the digestion doesn't work properly anymore, because all your blood goes into extremities to be ready to fight or run. And change in weight. First, it can also mean that you lose weight. And then eventually, but it depends on your metabolism, most people then gain weight and have really trouble losing that weight again. And then it's also good to address the stress as you address the weight loss, because your body is always in survival mode, right? So when you're in survival mode and when you're very stressed, it's in hyper survival mode. Of course, then it doesn't want to lose the weight. It's holding on to it because it thinks it needs that extra weight to get through because it wants to survive. That's what the body is all about, foremost and always. It just wants to survive. Hypertension, higher blood pressure, because of, here again, another topic for another day. Fatigue and lethargy is common, and that is also can have a bit of a pattern, like often you might feel fatigued in the afternoon and in the early evening, and then depending if your adrenals, how they are working, if you are heading towards adrenal fatigue, it could also mean that then later in the evening, your energy actually picks up again when it's time to go to bed. And then actually what should happen is that your body winds down and you get naturally tired. So this is also a sign and indicator that things are a little bit out of whack and that we should start doing something about that. I don't want you to stress with all these key stress indicators, especially if you can identify with quite a few of them. I just would like to point out to you that it's now time to do something about that. And I will give you tips and help in the coming weeks to do something about that. And drop-in or lack of libido can be another key stress indicator. Stress relief tips. There's many different tips, and we talked about yesterday already. And remember, it's all just in the head, and things only have the meaning you give them. So if you actually don't give everything as much meaning, then your stress will drop too. Like, for example, your child is having a tantrum or your children are fighting, then sometimes we just need to leave them to it and not making it our problem. That's with a lot of things. We're making everything, we get involved, and we're making everything our problem. We take everything on and we think we need to solve everything, which is not true. And remember, things only have the meaning you give them. That's an important sentence that I would like you to take on board. So breathe, it is good for you. And I mentioned in yesterday's video more about the breath and how it switches off the stress response. Deep breathing is the key to switching off your stress response. Exercise is really good because you shoot out feel-good hormones. And again, it's a big topic, so we will talk more about that another day. Extreme self-care, you really need to start looking after yourself instead of just looking after everyone else. Focus on the positive. We can learn that. And again, mindfulness is one of the tools that we can teach us to be a bit more positive. Get enough sleep. Early bedtime is really important. You need to get your rest because your body actually does rejuvenate and renew itself when you're sleeping. Practice saying no, which can be a hard one. But it's very important when we are already overwhelmed and overloaded and having enough on our plate to learn to say no. We don't have to please everyone. We don't have to always do everything. Setting boundaries and doing what we can and helping when we can. But sometimes we also have to just say no. And maybe we could also say, I get back to you if that changes. If that maybe makes it sound a little bit nicer and would help you to say no. Music can be very relaxing. There's heaps of relaxing music out there. Like, for example, on Spotify, there's amazing lists and things on the app Spotify, but maybe other music on iTunes or whatever you use could work. Music can also be uplifting. It's not just good to relax, but it can also be really, really uplifting to maybe make yourself a little playlist of your favorite songs. And yeah, when you need a bit of a boost, listen to these songs to feel a little bit better, because that also shoots out feel-good hormones and serotonin. Massage and body work, as I mentioned earlier, can really help to relieve the tension that's stored in the body. And also it's more than just relieving the tension. Actually, the sense of touch is very therapeutic in itself. Make yourself a priority. That's really, really important. Don't just look after everyone else. Really learn to look after yourself foremost and first of all. And practicing mindfulness is a great tool to actually de-stress. And I will share lots more about that in the coming weeks. So, and that is how I would like to finish today's little video. I would like to give you a little tool in mind. We call it the 3-minute breathing space. What it looks like. It's basically, first the attention is wide, and I will guide you in one right now. Wide, like an hourglass, focusing on body and thoughts and whatever is going on. And then the attention narrows, we only focus on the breath, and then it widens again. We expand the attention and focus on the body once more and see how we're doing, how we are feeling. Let's give it a try. Okay, you can close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, or keep them open with a gentle gaze. And then let's start by just taking a few deeper breaths. Breathing in deeply and out fully. Okay, let's become aware of what the body is doing, how the body is feeling. Is there any tension you can notice? Is the heart beating faster or slow? How's your breathing now? Is it slow and relaxed, or is it faster? What thoughts are coming to your mind, if any? Is there an emotion? Are you feeling a certain way? And then let's focus only on the breath and the breathing. Noticing how we breathe in and out. Breathing in and out, and staying only with the breathing. When the mind wanders, let's just come back to only focus on the breathing. Breathing in and out. Where do you notice the breath? Is it at your nose, or chest, or belly? Noticing maybe how the chest expands, or it flows into your nose, or how your belly expands. And then let's widen our attention again. Let's become aware of the body, all of the body. Maybe including the breathing, body and breath. How does your body feel? If you're sitting down, can you notice the surface that you're sitting on? Maybe where your feet making contact with the ground. And bringing this little practice to an end, and in your own time, opening your eyes again if they were closed. So this is the 3-minute breathing space. Very helpful tool for stressful times. So it comes from mindfulness, and basically what we do, we check in what is happening, how we are doing, and then we narrow our attention, only go to the breath, and then we widen again. And then we check, has anything changed? Are we feeling different after we've done the 3-minute breathing space? Check within yourself now. Are you feeling somehow different? It's important to just always keep on checking and noting and observing. So closing thought to close today's video is the purpose of life is joy. We didn't come here into this world to struggle. It's really, we are here to enjoy life. So let's make the most of this life that we have. Let's enjoy it, and let's do the right things to stress less, and so that we can enjoy this life more, because we will have more energy and feel better than ever before. I will stop the share of this little PowerPoint, and I would like to say goodbye. Have a really good day, everyone. And this is Jamila Knopf from Turning Point Clinic and Coaching. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate how you liked it and if this makes sense. And you can also ask me any questions in the comments below. If you like it, you could also give it a thumbs up and give it a rating. I would really super appreciate if you would do that for me. Great. Thank you so much, and have a really fantastic day.